Adam, this is a great question. Why do MA carriers offer 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different plans under the same charter underwriter or carrier name in the same county, even though they have different benefits? That's fabulous. I think this would make for a really strong Medicare Minute. This is Ansall, probably going to be about 6 minutes. Stick with me. Let's do it. All right, in typical Ansel fashion, I'm in between meetings, so let's take this on as quickly as we can. So, first of all, Medicare Advantage plans, they're not like some casual product release, right? Every year, every plan during bid season has to submit their bid to CMS under that Medicare Advantage bidding process. It's part of the Social Security Act, right? So each bid per MA carrier is going to include their projected claims cost for the plan, claims cost. I think I said an L in cost. Their risk adjustment assumption, their administrative expenses, their target margin, their medical loss ratio modeling, which has to hit 85% minimum that's required under ACA, and their rebate percentage based on star rating. You can find all of this on AHIP. Google AHIP, Medicare Advantage, and $1, something like that. Anyways, so all of this is filed every year, annually with CMS during bid season. So when they're filing plans, even if an MA carrier has two plans that look identical, at least to consumers, they are technically separate actuarial filings with different underlying assumptions, right? Think of them like this. Think of them like separate investment portfolios under the same brand. So MA carriers cannot rate a member based on their health status, but they absolutely can influence who selects a plan based on how they structure that plan, right? So small design differences amongst the plans or even network differences change the utilization patterns. So we'll say whether it's a $0 or a $20 PCP copay, whether inpatient day services are days 1 through 5 with a fixed copay, or if they're one set copay no matter how long. Dental max variations, network size, whether it's a PPO or an HMO. CMS allows these benefit design flexibility within its actuarial equivalent a rule set or rules that it has to play by. This creates like a soft segmentation, if you will. Now, over time, MA Plan 1 may attract healthier members, and MA Plan 2 may attract higher utilizers, and then MA Plan 3 may attract the special needs market or special need eligible individuals. So each of these plans, even though they look very similar, are going to behave differently financially. And MA carriers maintain multiple risk designs so that they can hedge that risk volatility. Star ratings materially impact revenue on a large basis. And under those ACA changes to MA, plans with 4+ star plans are going to receive quality bonus payments. And those rebates can range from 50 to 70% of the benchmark depending on the star rating that they're assessed. And you can find this on CMS's MA rate announcement methodology. The more plans a carrier has, the more they are allowed to experiment in the market that they're bringing these or placing these plans in. These star ratings are so important. So let's look at it maybe on a more actuarial level, right? So let's say you have several plan designs that look close to identical, but one of those plans designs at the end of the year has improved the HEDIS score for the MA and their medication adherence or a CAPS measure. That plan may outperform in star ratings compared to another plan that looks very similar. And remember, these star ratings directly impact the rebate dollars, the supplemental benefits, and the margin sustainability of that plan in that area. Multiple plan structures will allow carriers then to optimize performance where they want it. So we've talked about how MA plans have been proposed to have a 0.09% increase in funding next year. And with rising utilization, the IRA Part D redesign, and higher inpatient claims, that these margins are compressing carriers who need flexibility. So when a carrier brings out these multiple plans, it allows them to control the benefit reductions without collapsing entire membership structures. It allows them to target premium adjustments and strategically exit if they're underperforming on one of their plans that they bid with. So CMS allows carriers to consolidate contracts after poor performance if they overshoot what they were bidding for, or undershoot what they were bidding. And that's essentially risk diversification for the MA carrier. Think of an MA carrier like a car dealership, like a Toyota dealership, right? Toyota doesn't just sell one version of the Camry, right? When you're talking about a Camry, you've got the LE, the XE, the XSE, you've got hybrid Camrys, you've got their premium trends, you've got their sports packages with spoilers, and you get the idea. On the outside, all of this is a Camry, and even the most advanced Camry still looks like a Camry. But underneath the thing, you've got a different engine or different pricing strategies, different margins that Toyota has with the dealers, and different target buyers. MA plans, then, if you'll go with me, are trim packages on the same chassis, if you can kind of get that idea. So they're not duplicating one another. They're remaining flexible. It's segmentation, right? Does this add administrative waste? I tell you, brother, that's a valid question. Like I said, MA carriers are required to hit minimum MLR thresholds of 85%. And if they overspend on administration because of a few plans that are close to identical, then they have to remit those funds back to CMS, and no one wants to do that if they don't have to. So while, yeah, there is marketing cost and there's also regulatory containment, the structure isn't unlimited overhead expansion because the federal rules or CMS does constrain what an MA carrier is allowed to do or not to do. The tension is this, I guess, from a system design standpoint, this is rational because it helps MA carriers identify what plans they need in the market and who they're targeting. But for a beneficiary standpoint, I can understand the confusion because there's so many plans. And CMS has tried to reduce these meaningless plan variations. They had a rule cycle for the MA and the final rule limiting certain duplicative designs, but carriers still retain that significant flexibility. So what may look like redundance is actuarial hedging because they're in a volatile reimbursement environment. So why does one carrier have 10 different plans in a county and they all look very similar? Now, there's some outliers. Each plan is a separate CMS bid. Each plan has its own risk pool. Each plan has its own financial modeling, and each plan gives flexibility to those carriers for star ratings and rebates, and each plan protects against utilization volatility. I think that's a strategy that makes sense, especially in an environment of razor thin margins and lots of regulatory oversight, including audits that are to come. That kind of flexibility is needed for survival. And the last thing I would leave you with, if you have 10 plans in a market and another MA carrier has 1, 2, 3, 4, that makes you look more diverse, and a beneficiary is going to see your name show up significantly more in Medicare Gov.